Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and today I wanted to talk about Poker Quest. And Poker Quest is one of my new favorite roguelikes. It combines two things I absolutely love: poker and roguelikes. And before we jump into the review, I do just want to let you guys know that I was given a review copy of the game in order to make a video for you all. I never let that influence my reviews, I just like staying as transparent as possible. So Poker Quest incorporates the game of poker into the roguelike formula, similar to how some solitaire or blackjack related roguelikes like Solitairica or Void Tyrant work. In the game, depending on what class you start out with, you have a couple of different equipment cards. These can be offensive ones like daggers, defensive ones like shields, or utility ones like bags of holding. And each of these cards require different cards or card combinations to be activated. So you may have a sword that says you can use any two cards to activate it, and it'll just do damage equal to the sum of the two cards that you picked. Or you could have some more complex cards that require a 5-card straight, or another card that requires you to put pairs in it, but it does double damage if the pair was like, heart cards. And there is such a huge variety of these items, they really help keep the game fresh. And the enemies you face in the game pretty much play by the same rules that you do. So each turn, both you and your opponent will draw cards. You'll be able to see all of your cards, obviously, since you have to figure out which of your weapons or abilities you want to activate, but sometimes some of the enemy's cards will be hidden until you end your turn, so you might not know 100% what they're going to do. Each enemy has a couple of different abilities just like you that they can use if they're able to fulfill them. And a lot of the times their abilities will need to be triggered in very specific ways, like they might need to get 6 black cards total, or they may slowly ramp up how many cards they draw each turn until they unleash a huge attack. And even though all the enemies are playing with the same rules and the same basic poker, deck of cards, because they all have their own unique abilities and attacks, it really makes each combat feel like a whole unique puzzle that you have to figure out the best way to solve. And along with playing your cards, you also have a couple of other tricks up your sleeve. First of all, you can spend these special red gems that you collect to draw extra cards, and secondly, each class has their own special ability that you can use your energy on. So one class could use 3 energy to stun the enemy and make them lose their turn, or one could allow you to peek at the hidden cards the enemies have, or one could allow you to draw more, and there's a ton more unique abilities. Because there's over 17 unique classes in the game currently at the launch of early access. And each class feels completely different because they all have their own starting stats, their starting equipment and abilities, so you really have to play each character in a drastically different way, which I absolutely love. And it also gives you something to work towards because you gain experience out of game to unlock new classes. And as you're going through the game, you'll fight tons of unique enemies, make your way to shops and different events, sort of in the stereotypical map, system that Slay the Spire popularized. But what's cool though about this game is that you can't see the whole map off the bat. You can only see a couple of spots ahead of you unless you want to upgrade your site using poker chips you earn. And poker chips are your main form of currency in the game. So you can use these chips to upgrade various miscellaneous stats you have, like your site and stuff, and most importantly, how many cards you draw each turn. You can also use these poker chips to buy brand new weapons and gear. You can use them to upgrade your current cards, or you can spend them on consumables or resources like food. And food is really, really important in this game. Each time you move one space on the map, you use up 1 food. And if you run out of food, you start taking damage each time you move since you're starving. And also at any given moment, you can choose to eat a single piece of food each space on top of the food that you're forced to consume to heal you 10 HP each. So you're constantly having to decide if you should save your food and just eat what you absolutely need to, or if you can spare some extra to heal up and not die in future combats. And another thing that Poker Quest does that I absolutely love is that it has 2 main game modes in the game. One that is a traditional roguelike where upgrades don't carry over and each game you play is, completely over when you die. And then there's a roguelite mode where the upgrades you can spend your chips on actually carry over to your future runs and make the game, slowly easier and easier as you level up. I personally play on the full-on classic mode, the roguelike experience, because I want to get better at the game myself and not just kind of like artificially get better since I have the upgrades, but I absolutely love that that option is there for the people that want it. And I also like that the game does actually reward you with more experience to unlock the new classes if you play the main classic roguelike mode like I do. Also, the art style in the game is absolutely gorgeous. Most of the characters, enemies, and items have this hand-drawn but professional-looking art style, and the background has this texture on it to make it look like the texture of playing cards, which is really clever, and I absolutely love that. The soundtrack is really good as well. I do think the game could use maybe a couple more tracks to spice things up here or there, but from what I've heard, I really love it. And obviously I haven't had time to unlock all of the classes and get all of the achievements, but it's something I'm working on because I'm loving this game so much lately. It's really hard to describe in words how much fun this game is to play. Each combat you're in, you'll have so many different strategies and ways to potentially like cheat the game a bit with your abilities to find success. There's a decent amount of RNG in the game as it is based in poker, but just like poker, a good player will be able to mitigate the randomness as much as possible to sway the game in their favor. PokerQuest does a really great job at taking everything that people love about poker and combining it with everything people love about roguelikes. So if you are into more traditional deck building roguelikes, I think you would absolutely love this game, and especially I think you would like this if you are a fan of poker, obviously. The game also has several unique poker variants it creates specifically for minigames in this, and I absolutely love those as well. And if you want to see even more of this game, I have an entire Let's Play series on my channel, so definitely check out that playlist if this looks like something you would enjoy watching more of. And if you enjoyed this video, then consider subscribing and ringing that bell like all the big boy YouTubers say to be notified when I make more roguelike reviews or Let's Plays. And if you're going to be grinding out some PokerQuest on your own, then I wish you guys luck, and see you all next time.